Older couple demand we take their plane seats only to demand we move once in flight. I was asked to post this over here too. I'm new in here, but here is my one karma seeking revenge whilst it all played out story. So my husband, now ex, and I were one of the last to board the plane as he had misplaced his boarding ticket and we had to search for it. When we got on, we were walking up the plane and could see our row. The plane was pretty much full and all settled in. A couple older than us sat in our row of 3. I checked our tickets and then asked the couple what seats they were supposed to be in, as those were ours. They refused to move. They had scored 3 seats to their 2 bottoms, whereas the row in front had a very slim girl at the window. The air hostess came over, and as they were older and playing the age card, the hostess asked us to sit the seats in front. My husband argued that in the event of an accident, our names were not on the right locations. However, the hostess said she would swap these over. So we sat down next to the slim girl who took up no room whatsoever. The couple behind were very loudly gloating at their win and discussing how they would have a very pleasant 14-hour trip home. My husband told me as soon as we can to recline the seats as he was pissed they're gloating. So here we are settled when this man starts walking up the plane. He was a very, very large man. Long dreadlocks, shoving a baguette in his mouth as he made his way up the aisles. My husband just looked at me and smiled as he realized the only spare seat was that window seat that would have been next to mine. And yes, karma took a dump on the gloating couple's lap as the man asked them to move so he could get into his seat. Once settled, he took up a lot of the space, and once in the air, the lady called a hostess down and started having a strop about how we had stolen their seats in that we had refused to move when they boarded. Sadly for the lady, our argument at the start of the flight had been witnessed by the staff as everyone else was settled by then, so she was shut down by the staff who refused to move us. They had a miserable flight as the guy kept getting up for the toilet. Extra drinks and extra snacks. Whoever he was a complete gem of human being. As a large man who does need to use the restroom often, I'm extremely self-conscious about the inconvenience I may cause others on a plane. I usually try to get an aisle seat. Good to know one of my brethren actually managed to improve a situation. Genetics did not bless me with a magnificent head of hair, but I do love me some French bread. They'd love this over at our stolen seats. Did you still recline your seat? I hope so. Ha! Love it. Someone convinced me to give up my aisle seat many years ago, and I will never, ever be that nice to an annoying stranger again. I regretted it the whole flight, and her excuse that she was old and needed to get often was a complete lie. She was maybe 55 and barely moved the entire flight. I hate all the little upcharges airlines hit you with these days, but sort of appreciate the fact you can pay a little extra for better seats, since it gives me the perfect reason to never give up my seat to some rondo on a plane. At the end of the flight, I and the missus would have stuck out our tongues at the entitled couple to rub it in. This is us gloating. Hope you bought that fine gentleman a drink. The air hostess came over, and as they were older and playing the age card, the hostess asked us to sit the seats in front. Lol. No. I don't expect flight attendants to go to the ends of the earth for me by any means. Unless that's where I'm flying, I guess. But JFC. The airline's booking system charges a different rate per seat, and I fucking pick it out when I book. So, sorry. Nah. I'm gonna sit in the seat I booked. And if people won't move, You can help me call security on the people causing the fucking problem. Not help them just get away with whatever they wanna fucking do. This whole story makes me angry. Less fun. But yesterday husband and I took our first flight with our almost 2-year-old. We had premium seats, so they were big. And my kid is a cuddler, so we didn't bother with a third seat since I knew she'd want to be on my lap if she could anyway. We had 2 out of 3 middle row seats on one of those jumbo planes. So an aisle in middle. So we sit down. Middle and end seats. And the sour-faced old woman in the seat next to us takes one look at the toddler, who is just chilling out on my lap, dosed up on doc-prescribed Benadryl for motion sickness, and immediately demands to be moved. Sadly, the only seat left was crammed between 2 dudes in a center seat. She still takes it because apparently she's that terrified of the kid munching cheese crackers and zoned out watching Frozen on our iPad. So we ended up with a bonus free seat to stretch out in while our kid literally slept the entire flight in my arms, and she spent the whole time getting elbowed on 2 sides by guys who seemed to be former linebackers. Weird choice, but okay. Can't believe they tried spinning lies for their advantage. Prob used to getting what they want by being wretched people. Oof, I would have made it a personal mission to fart as much as I could for the next 14 hours.
Karma.
This is incredible. Travel karma. I would have been buying the guy beers and all the garlic chips he could eat. The biggest dose of karma isn't even that they were dissatisfied with their seat swap after the fact. Their worst problem is being 2 chronically miserable and complaining individuals. They are their own worst enemies. My favorite airplane story happened when my son, now 31, was a baby. We got on, and the guy across the aisle from us muttered, "Oh great. A baby." At the time, I was an extremely frequent flyer. Almost 100k miles a year. So I knew the feeling. But it's my kid this time. So, right before they closed the door, the flight attendant brought 2 unaccompanied minors to sit right behind the muttering guy. 8 and 10-year-old boys, who cut up and banged on the seat back for the entire flight. LAX to ORD or DFW. I forget. My wife had arranged pillows and a blanket on the floor after we were airborne. And my kid slept there for pretty much the entire flight and never cried at all. Ha 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 ha. Get fucked. For your next post, please include a line break here and there. Paragraphs make a text more readable.
Beautiful.
Were they serving baguettes on the plane? Lol. What a fucking amazing story. And experience. Never underestimate who will sit in the empty seat. Every time I fly, there's an empty seat next to me. I'm fairly nervous.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.